Welcome again, Sagittarius. July 2017, Dadhichi here from astrology.com.au. There are some important aspects this month being made to your ruling planet Jupiter. I'm going to talk about that, but first, 3 planets in your 8th house: Mercury, Mars and the Sun. 2 of the 3, quite friendly, but that 8th house is what astrologers even find it a little difficult to understand the mystery of this 8th house, which in a way is the deepest psychological knots and complexes that we find within ourselves. So Mercury there is inquisitive. It's showing us that you are delving a lot more deeply into who you are, how you came to be who you are. Mars and the Sun there, they're problematic. They can be injurious on a physical level, but also aggressive in a way. So maybe what you're finding about yourself, what you're finding out deeply within yourself, is not necessarily sitting well with you. So part of this month's lesson for you, I think, is to non-judgmentally understand yourself rather than, picking the eye out of every little thing that you feel is wrong with yourself. You need to look at all of this stuff as the bullshit of life, which is, as I say, the fertilizer for really great things to occur. So that's important. No, they're not staying there for the whole of the month. Mercury actually moves out of this position. Let me have a look here. Actually makes 2 important moves this month. On the 6th, it moves into the 9th house, which is one of the better houses of the horoscope. And then on the 26th, it moves to the career sector. So there's 2 important transitions there, at least moving out of this 8th house. Mars and Sun. Mars moves out on the 20th into the 9th house, and the Sun moves out on the 23rd. And this sign is the sign of Leo, and both of these planets sit more comfortably there, giving you a push and a drive to maybe juxtapose these inner understandings you're getting with some intellectual knowledge, some research, some study. The 9th house is a spiritual house. So in the latter part of the month, we see a shift to that part of your horoscope, to those spheres of your life and activity in that area. And I mentioned to you that apart from that 8th house issue, we see a very important full moon taking place on the 9th. The 2nd house of your horoscope will be activated by that full moon, which is opposite the 8th house, which I might add, apart from being a deeply psychological house, has a lot to do with shared finances, the money that you've loaned or borrowed, banks, that type of thing. So the full moon on in the 2nd house, on the 9th and after, indicates a real brightening or quickening and an understanding, perhaps a bit of an emotional connection to your finances. But certainly, when I look at the full moon, I usually see this as a light shining, but it's reflected light. It's not direct light as we see from the Sun in the 8th house. It is reflected light. So this is information that may come from other people. And we see here the moon is actually the ruler of the 8th house. So this could be the bank manager. It could be people that manage your money. It could be the taxation department. This 8th house has a lot to do with those resources that are tied in with not just other people in partnerships, but also organizations such as the taxation or the IRS, as you call it in the US. So money is a big thing after the 9th. It's interesting too that the new moon takes place in the 9th house, which is a legal house as well as a spiritual house. So I'm wondering whether there's some sort of bureaucratic stuff that's going to happen. That occurs after the 24th, the new moon. And that that is definitely the commencement of a new chapter. The 9th house is also not only the spiritual mind in terms of oneself, it's other people's spiritual minds. This is the sector of mentorship. So you may actually meet someone that can enlighten you on certain things, not necessarily just on the financial things, but we talked earlier about this seeking within yourself some new understanding or some new meaning, some new pathway in your life, meeting someone that can help you understand that and make sense of how to put all these jigsaw pieces of your life together. So that is an important transit for you. I mentioned the 3 important aspects to your ruling planet, which is Jupiter. The first one on July 6th, just preceding the full moon, is the square aspect from the Sun. The Sun, again, it seems to be pointing to this 9th house. The square from the Sun to Jupiter is excessive, to say, I mean, you're excessive anyhow. To have the Sun squaring off with your ruler indicates excessive expenditure, not just of money, but of self, your energies. It's in the 11th house, your ruling planet now. So it's quite likely that social activities, which are ruled and dominated by that area, will get the better of you. You need to balance that against some of these other requirements in your life. The other 2 aspects are far better for you. We see the Mercury sextile aspect to Jupiter on the 15th, and that is that's a fortuitous aspect that is showing us possibly what I mentioned earlier, the mentorship, the connection with people who have themselves an insight into the higher mind, able to share that. Mercury Jupiter is a very, very full sort of communication, an enlightening sort of communication that can give you the insights that you're looking for. And that third one, which we will finish off the month with, is a lovely one between Venus and your ruler. Venus for you is ruling your 6th house of work and health and debts. It is one that I think bodes well for your physical well-being. This is also gifts. You may receive something from your co-workers, also ruled by this 6th house. So the end of the month is very, very nice. We also see Venus on the 30th producing a very nice sextile aspect to Uranus, which is the ruler of the 3rd house of communication. So good news, good connections, good, intelligent and thought-provoking activities that can lift your understanding of things, and most importantly, getting a handle on your finances through those third parties. Remain receptive to that, open, and adjust yourself accordingly. Astrology.com.au offers you the more detailed analysis of the month if you want to go there, monthly and yearly readings as well, and hopefully that will tide you over till we catch up with you again next month. Bye bye.